You saved every dollar, studied every review, gave your signature. This car was supposed to be it. But now, every drive feels like a letdown. So Consumer Reports asked thousands of real drivers a brutally honest question. If you had the chance to choose again, would you still buy the same car? The answers, eye-opening, some even painful. From gutless engines and glitchy tech to repair bills that just won't quit, these 10 cars triggered the most regret. These are the least satisfying cars and SUVs on the road, according to the people who actually drive them. If you're into smart, no-nonsense car content that helps you dodge bad decisions, make sure to like and subscribe. The Nissan Altima number 10. For the 2023 model year, the most recent revision was completed in 2022. Nissan added elegant LED headlights, redesigned the front grille, and equipped certain models with a bigger 12.3-inch touchscreen that supports wireless Apple CarPlay. On the surface, everything seemed good. But as soon as individuals had to deal with it on a daily basis, the complaints started to pour in. One primary source of pain is the CVT transmission. It often revs high without producing much acceleration, and drivers characterize it as slow, jerky, and disconnected. It doesn't feel quite right. The dependability problems follow. While some owners have encountered engine and gearbox issues much too early in the car's life, others have suffered unexpected power outages. Additionally, the infotainment system continues to irritate with frozen displays and Bluetooth failures even after the tech update. In the end, many Altima owners completely regretted their investment. It was a disappointment rather than just a mismatch. Would you still choose this model if you could make the purchase again, according to Consumer Reports? No, according to 52% of owners. Not at all. 9. The Audi Q8 e-tron. Let's now discuss the Audi Q8 e-tron, a high-end electric competitor. In late 2022, this SUV had a makeover and was called the more luxurious Q8 e-tron. Instead of the original e-tron, Audi even upgraded its felt design and electric performance and unveiled a sporty SQ8 variant. It seems like a winner on paper. Air suspension, all-wheel drive, and a high-tech, silent cabin. However, the experience did not live up to the expectations for many owners. Among the most significant problems, owners complain about range estimates that are below what was promised, inconsistent home charging, and restricted compatibility with public stations. According to others, they can hardly go 150 miles on a single charge. The technology is also annoying. System reboots, sporadic sensor malfunctions, and infotainment issues have made even ordinary rides seem like a pain. Add several software-related recalls and significant ownership expenses, and the gleam quickly fades. Accordingly, 53% of owners who were questioned by Consumer Reports whether they would purchase the Q8 e-tron again stated they wouldn't. The Infiniti QX60, the 2026 model, was just introduced by the firm in May 2025. However, the following regrets are all related to the 2024-2025 model year, and many owners have found the experience to be anything but luxurious. Infiniti switched to a 2.0-liter turbo 4-cylinder with variable compression in 2024. In favor of the V6, although it seemed like a good idea on paper, more advanced technology and improved fuel efficiency, many owners were unhappy with the results. The engine is characterized by drivers as harsh and slow. Additionally, it uses premium gasoline, negating any fuel-saving advantages. Many claim that it no longer feels like a premium SUV. Then there are issues with dependability. Major warranty repairs, electrical issues, braking issues, and frequent dealership trips have all been noted by owners. One even said that my car is now breaking down worse than ever, even though my service records show that at least $17,000 worth of items were covered under warranty. After being gaslighted for months on end, they eventually consented to buy it again. 54% of QX60 owners expressed remorse over their purchase, according to a Consumer Reports poll. Remorse shouldn't even be spoken when a Mercedes logo is shown on the grille. However, a startlingly high percentage of owners began to regret their purchase after the 2022 release of the updated C-Class. It does seem beautiful. Yes, it has a ton of cutting-edge technology, and the interior definitely has an S-Class feel to it. But when the encounter falls short, all that glitz quickly disappears. Among the most annoying things, the technology that was meant to make an impression, concerning blank displays, system failures, and infotainment issues, some of which occurred within weeks of ownership. It seems like too much of the driving experience is dependent on software that isn't yet ready for widespread use. The expense of ownership comes next. Electrical problems are more often than anybody would anticipate in this price range, and even normal service maintenance might seem absurd. The reality might be painfully rough around the edges for a car that promises sophistication. 55% of C-Class owners responded negatively when asked whether they would do it all over again in Consumer Reports. 6. Corolla Cross by Toyota. The obvious choice would appear to be the Corolla Cross, SUV usefulness, reasonable pricing, and Toyota dependability. However, many owners were not impressed with the everyday trip. Let's get the ride started. Every bump on the road is often transmitted by the Corolla Cross's suspension, making for an unpleasant ride. Because of its poor absorption of uneven ground, even little fractures seem more noticeable inside the cabin. A 2.0-liter four-cylinder engine, which is about as bog-standard as they get, powers the car when merging or climbing hills. The combination seems slow because to the loud drone of the CVT. Even in a tiny SUV, it just falls short of what drivers anticipate in terms of power and smoothness. The narrative doesn't get any better inside, particularly over lengthy journeys. The chairs are rigid and unsupportive. The materials used in the inside, particularly in the cheaper trims, seem flimsy and rudimentary, and there is little legroom in the back. The infotainment system seems at least a generation old, and storage is scarce. Despite its dependability rating, 55% of Corolla Cross owners expressed disappointment to Consumer Reports. Hey, do me a favor before we look at the next one on the list. Go ahead and hit the like button if this video has been helpful to you so far. The Nissan Sentra's low cost and excellent fuel efficiency are its two main selling features. It seems to be a wise option for those on a tight budget. However, the experience hasn't been up to par for many owners. Even if the latest Sentras are better than their predecessors, problems with the CVT gearbox still occur. When merging or ascending slopes, some drivers complain of shuddering, juddering, or slow acceleration. Additionally, a possible driveshaft flaw in the 2024 model has sparked worries about unexpected power outages. Although it doesn't wow, the cabin's interior meets the necessities. Road noise is audible, the infotainment system sometimes delays or malfunctions, and the materials may seem flimsy. Though many believe the performance and refinement trade-offs were not worth the savings, the Sentra takes you from point A to point B on a budget. 56% of owners responded negatively when asked by Consumer Reports whether they would repurchase it. The Mazda CX-90 PHEV, as Mazda's first plug-in hybrid SUV, the CX-90 PHEV made a great splash, but for many 2024 owners, the reality has been annoying from the beginning. Faults in the electrical system are the most concerning problem. Within days after purchase, several drivers experienced electrical leaks that rendered their cars unusable and necessitated a tow. Others had to wait a long time for servicing or replacement components over many dealership trips in a short period of time. These issues weren't isolated incidents. They were widespread enough to cause serious concerns. Customers awarded the CX-90 PHEV a dependability rating of just 15 out of 100, which is indicative of the early issues and a challenging introduction of this new powertrain. The drivetrain is criticized as well, particularly when switching from gas to electric power. The wet clutch automatic gearbox seems crude with jerky, reluctant acceleration. And lastly, the actual ride itself. The hybrid system's additional weight exacerbates the suspension stiffness and makes bumps and faults in the road more noticeable. The journey often seems unsteady rather than luxurious. 59% of CX-90 PHEV owners responded negatively when asked whether they would repurchase it by Consumer Reports. The third is the Volkswagen Taos. The Taos is small, fuel-efficient, and surprisingly spacious, and it looks fantastic on paper. However, that first impression was short-lived for many owners. Among the most excruciating pain points, problems with the transmission, particularly on variants with all-wheel drive. Owners have described the 7-speed dual-clutch automatic that comes with them as everything from clumsy to intoxicated. It lurches erratically, hesitates in stop-and-go traffic, and often seems perplexed at slower speeds. Volkswagen seem to concur. The 2025 update will replace that gearbox with a smoother 8-speed automatic. The braking system comes next. As early as 12,000 miles, many drivers report that their rear brakes need to be replaced. According to reports, dealers have confirmed this since the rear brake pads are smaller than the front ones, and that's not all. Owner forums have also seen reports of electrical oddities, infotainment freezes, and sporadic engine stalling. It should come as no surprise that 61% of owners who were questioned by Consumer Reports whether they would choose the same course of action again say they regret it. Jeep Compass, number 2. The Jeep Compass has a realistic appearance. Although it isn't a genuine off-road SUV, it is small, fashionable, and has a slightly rough appearance. However, that's about as wonderful as it gets. The transmission comes first. Although it has a 9-speed automatic, owners complain of jerky behavior, uncomfortable downshifts, and sluggish shifts, particularly in stop-and-go traffic. Even on the freeway, one motorist said it lurched ahead at random. Brake problems are next in line. Some owners experienced grinding and screeching that persisted long after dealership visits, while others required rear pad repairs at an alarmingly early age. The technology comes next. Sensors may malfunction, the Uconnect system may freeze, and dashboard warning lights may flash for no apparent reason. Within the first month, several owners even had electrical alarms and no-start issues. The Compass also has trouble with resale value, which exacerbates the situation. It depreciates more quickly than many of its Korean and Japanese rivals due to its patchy dependability record. Would you repurchase it then, as questioned by Consumer Reports? Hell no, according to 62% of Compass owners. First place PHEV 4xe Jeep Grand Cherokee. Another Jeep SUV indeed. According to the annual CR poll, this one is also taking home the title of least gratifying new car. Despite having all the necessary components, off-road capabilities, electricity driving range, and luxurious features, owners of Jeep's flagship plug-in hybrids soon discovered that they were dealing with more drama than driving time. The primary antagonists are electrical gremlins. The feared limp mode is said to have kicked in. Warning lights flashing like a Christmas tree and the car abruptly shutting down in mid-drive. Some owners had to make multiple tow requests. The 12-volt battery? Just as untrustworthy. Many discovered that the same problems were returning a few weeks after the dealer was replaced. Then the big one arrived. Due to defective high-voltage batteries, Jeep issued a fire risk recall, warning owners to park outside and refrain from charging until the problem is remedied. And the others? Erratic dealer assistance, glitchy software, and sluggish gearboxes. Would you still choose this model if you could make the purchase again, according to Consumer Reports? Unbelievably, 66% of owners replied no. Keep in mind that every car has advantages and disadvantages, but it's important to pay attention when over 50% of owners state they wouldn't purchase the same model again. Please like and subscribe for more smart car breakdowns, actual owner insights, and brutally honest rankings. If this video was useful to you or prevented you from seeing this list. Do you own a car that ought to have been on this list? Put it in the comment section. I appreciate you seeing, and I hope to see you in the future one.